Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let me share my screen. Okay. Good morning, how's everybody doing? Let me share my sound. Where's everybody? Good morning.
NASDAQ trend up.
Zoom started. Good morning, Miguel. You hear me okay? Everything is good? Let me see if I see you guys on, where is this? Where are you participants? Everybody's in the room. Hi, Miguel, good to see you. Karen, everybody, the screen is good? Okay, excellent. All right, awesome. All right, so first order of business. First order of business is, let me go back in here. Let me bring the screen up here. I'm just gonna bring up the screen for a second. Go into Dropbox and you guys go into the proprietary. I just wanna tell you. So you go into the session trader folder and either 4 or 5, whichever one you want to do. The tool is there. I think I'm gonna have to I'm gonna rename all this crap. It's just getting too nested in here. But the new tool that I'm using, the percent risk tool, both in MT5, MT4 versions now, is gold. It's ready to go. So it's the same thing as this one, with the exception that the percent risk is the take profit is dynamically derived from percent risk. So let me show you how this is going to work. We're actually going to lay down all of these tools on here. So this is the MT4 version. Percent risk profit. I'm going to go into inputs. Volatility filter stays at one-time risk. I'm going to use basically a 40% of risk take profit as a decent value. Make that false so that I don't have to restart it. So, like, for example, if I want to risk 10 points, it's going to automatically just set the stop to 4. If I want to risk 20 points, which is fine, which we're going to leave here, it's going to automatically set the target to 4. And then I'm going to show you that you can actually manage your take profits dynamically once you're in the trade with the MT4 arrows if you want this. Once we get some trades triggered, I'll show you how to do that as well. But this just makes it, a lot of people have been asking for this this version. So I'm going to set this up on all the trades. All right, let's go in here. I'm going to put them all on all of them. All right, and what's going on over here? Looks like we're getting a little breakout and cable is reversing. Okay, we'll keep an eye on that. And all right, so the final thing that that we're working on right now is the audibles to consolidate the audibles. So
Euro dollar sell continuation arrow.
You guys hearing that, by the way? I just want to make sure. Is everybody hearing the audible? So we got somebody just confirmed to me. So euro dollar got a sell continuation arrow here. Okay, cool. So what in the final version is going to say sell continuation arrow, weak trend, strong trend, right? And that it's going to be a single audible that tells you both state of trend and the arrow, which is a very, very interesting additional input, because I'm going to tell you how we're going to use that data to make even better trades. I spent like all of yesterday banging around, with NASDAQ, and finally realized that that this one little twist really makes a huge additional difference to what we're doing. Clearly, I'm just watching. By the way, we just started the market. The market just obviously went a little crazy on the upside. Now it's going crazy on the reversal. We're going to give the first 10 minutes of breathing space here to the market, because I think the market is just kind of really bipolar today. Just trying to set my charts. I had a lot of good results with currencies today, just in euro pound. That's all I'm trading is euro pound. But today we'll take a look at the CAD. Man, why is this MT4 just so draggy? My other MT4s is just so much better here. Okay, I'm just looking around here to see what, if anything, is possibly going on. So let me introduce you to like sort of the final. Sorry, while I'm watching the NASDAQ, right? And NAS is, oh, it's interesting. NAS, oh no, it doesn't. It's having like just psychotic moves here. I'm trying to see if on the future side, we're actually getting a buy arrow. So I may trade the futures here just for fun. If this buy arrow completes, I'm gonna put a buy above this. This doesn't even look like it's going to be a buy. So I'm going to put a buy above this. Basically, in the idea that, if, again, sort of our opening minute trade, if it breaks out the highs.
NASDAQ continuation buy.
Okay, it's continuation buy, and I'm basically trying to beat the buy on this move. If it beats the buy, I want to trade the move. If it doesn't beat the buy, I don't want to. It's basically testing back up to the 13,000 level, which has gotten rejected quite a lot over the last couple of days. So just interesting to see. So here's while this is happening, it's a good example of what I have in mind. Although I think the volatility is going to blow me out. I'm not going to be able to. Yeah, it's taking out the 13s, and the vol filter is going to cancel me out. So I'm going to cancel this trade, just because I know the vol filter is going to. The move in this thing is just huge. We can try this on
German trend up.
Okay, let's try this. I just tried this on the CFDs. Because I have a larger condition here. But here's the thing I was going to show you. Here's what's cool about this dynamic stop thing. We can actually move the stop, and the take profit will get smaller. In other words, if you want to tighten your take profit, like if you wanted to button up your stops here, your take profit will get smaller. This is just a massively spec move here, so I have little confidence that it's going to blow up for us, because I overrode the volatility filter just to kind of participate in the trade mindlessly. But if it's a good trade, it should really hold. I mean, honestly, it should actually hold the sort of logical trade here is to be underneath this. Let me actually it's going to expand my take profit. Well, okay, let me see if this thing runs a little bit. I want to run it. All right, I'm going to take 3 on this. It's going to run a little bit more, but I was going to say, just because the volatility here is just so strong that I just didn't want to do. But I had a lot of confidence that it was actually going to pop off this big move. But what I was going to say is what makes this trade kind of interesting from our analytical point of view. Volatility aside, you take away the massive volatility move here. What's interesting is that this is a upside break at a higher level. So it's a strong trend, right?
Euro dollar buy reversal arrow.
It's on the euro dollar. Euro, nothing. The currencies are doing nothing. Okay, so back to the NASDAQ, just kind of show you. So this is what's called strong trend signal, right? We have a signal in strong trend. If we have a signal in strong trend, we want to take it. We want to take it basically. A volatility filter notwithstanding, right? So assuming we have a signal, strong trend, and it clears volatility, we definitely want to take it on the signal. Now, what happens if we have weak trend, right? So here is a sell signal, right? That right over here, this is a sell signal, and let's assume we just ignore the fact that this is market opening action. Sell signal in weak trend. Why is this a weak trend? Because this downtrend is actually off of a higher low, therefore it's a weak downtrend.
Russell continuation buy.
Right, it's a weak downtrend, and since it's a weak downtrend, we ignore the first signal and we actually look for a second signal confirm on this move, right? And in this case, let's ignore that that we have huge amount of volatility on the market open. The second signal confirm actually is not bad. That if you sold this, you had some continuation. It gave you confidence that there was a move to the downside. So this is a very non-characteristic example of this. But the idea is, in a weak trend, we let the first signal go by and see if there is further continuation, if there's further confirmation of that trend. If there is, then we're gonna trade the weak trend. If there isn't, then we don't take it. In a strong trend, we take the first signal. That difference makes a big difference because it keeps you out of
NASDAQ reverse sell. Euro trend up.
Marginal trades. Keeps you out of marginal trades, right? These are right now, these are all actually very marginal trades. The euro trend up is, I think, a weak trend. Maybe it's flat, maybe it's it's a weak trend. It's really this is a good example. If you're not sure, then it's a weak trend. And if it's a weak trend, then I'm going to have two signals here. I'm going to have a second signal in euro to the upside to convince me that I really want to take a euro trade up. On cable, we don't have, unfortunately, there was no signals here in trend, but this would have been a good breakout move. I traded cable to the downside really nicely. And so what was actually interesting is I traded cable to the downside. This was a downtrend, and this was a weak downtrend. In other words, this was kind of like a
downtrend up.
What was that? Was just a Dow trend? Did it say Dow trend up? Oh yeah, Dow trend is up. Okay, so Dow now is in an uptrend. It's in a strong uptrend. The uptrend is at a higher level. Oh, good. Connie says she traded cable to the downside, and even waiting in cable on the second move, like this over here, was perfectly okay. I took it to the downside and I rode it all the way down. So what do we got here? NASDAQ is an uptrend. So NASDAQ is an uptrend. So now we actually have reasonable reference points right over here against this NASDAQ. It's an uptrend. We have a reference point. We can try to position ourselves into a possible trade, and we really want to put the stop here probably at around 15. We don't need that biggest.
NASDAQ continuation reversal arrow.
Okay, so euro dollar has a it's an uptrend. Second signal after this one not really a second signal. I'm sort of cheating. I really need another signal for euro dollar, but I'll put a buy stop on a buy entry on this position. And by the way, with FX, I'm perfectly happy just trading 10-4. It's just fine. If I'm right, I'm going to be right. If I'm going to be wrong, I'm going to be wrong. What's going on over here? So this popped up and did not close. Did not close through this.
NASDAQ reverse buy.
Oh, is that that's my futures. I'm sorry. It's my futures talking, which are giving me different signals. So NASDAQ actually has like a reverse sell now on the future side. None of these things held. This is the most important thing. None of these NASDAQ things, the 1300 area just got spanked again, right? Totally spanked again. And I'm actually, this is not a trade that's part of what we want to do, but I'm very tempted to do this just because I'm trying to trade the level, kind of same idea. Oh, Jesus Christ. Let's see if I can do this. I'm just trying to, my whole idea here is if we're going to break the lows here, like in other words, if they really wanted to spank this 1300 and they couldn't hold it and the sellers are going to start to come back after them, they're going to take out the lows here. If they're going to take out the lows,
Euro trend down.
I'm happy to trade them. But now they reversed it back up to the upside. So we'll trade the CFD reference point if it comes back up. Oh, the other thing is it just gave me a euro trend down over here, right? And therefore my upside trade, I'm going to cancel just because it's the whole idea here is you want to always be in sync with the trend. So if the trend turned while you had some kind of a buy stop, it never got triggered, just cancel it. Wait for the trend to consolidate and actually formalize until you stay in a trade. You don't want to be tripped into a trade by accident. So now this again, not a classic trade that we're doing, but this is just me playing around with the idea that okay, they couldn't hold the 1300s. If the sellers are really going to try to push these guys down, they're going to take out the low, the sort of the opening range lows and push it lower. So I'm just sitting parked over here trying to see if they're able to do that. It's clear that we have a big battle between the buyers and the sellers at the 13,000 level, and my suspicion is once it gets resolved, it's going to be significant move one way or the other. So we have a where's my NAS? Yeah, we're still parked on the buy side on the sell reversal arrow on the NAS. You can really see the battle on the opening range here, right? And how they just, they're trying to break it, hold it, break it, hold it. There's definitely a lot of dip buyers here. They definitely, it looks like they want to. If they take this candle positive, it looks like they want to try and resolve this to the upside. So we'll see. All right, well, this is playing out. Let's see what the Dow is at. Dow is cleanly positive, and what we would need in the Dow is a reference point against which we can trade. So, for now we don't have that. All right, so now it took me in, and like this is gonna let's see if I survive the volatility here, because the vol is going to be huge. Boom, and there you go. So not a classic BK trade, but very much the classic principles. We had a reference point. We have an opening range reference point. I had a feeling that once the sellers could get control of the whole thing, it was gonna start flying. And I took a modest 10-point risk on this thing, so it was fine. I don't know if anybody take that with me. Sort of it's what's called an off the menu trade. But same principle, sort of similar ideas. And by the way, I was actually using these reference points as our trigger points, because the idea was that, once they took
NASDAQ trend down.
Once they took down these reference points. So now NASDAQ, by the way, turns trend down. So if we have any orders up to the upside, we want to get rid of those orders, because the whole point here is we want to focus on the trend side always, right? I know we love trade reversals, but honestly, guys, the reversal is the crack cocaine of trading. It is so tempting. It looks so good. There are certain days when there's just no continuity whatsoever, and a reversal is the only thing that works. But in the long run, it's really a sucker bet. Our proposition is to take the meat of the momentum trade, this side, this middle side. And by the way, if you want to use these rules in the most strict way, then what you want to do is you want to say, oh, I'm only going to trade weak trend, or strong trend on the first signal, weak trend on the second signal, or later if I get one, and I'm only going to trade one instance per trend, right? So you don't try to ride the second down wave and maybe even the third down wave in a trend. That's fine. Like that's a very, very rigorous control. If you want to press it, you certainly can press it. But the point being is that if you just kind of distill it to that analytical function, you're going to put yourself on the right side of the market much more often than not. And you're not going to put yourself if the market isn't going your way, it's generally not going to trigger you. The important point is we want 2 out of 3 answers to be positive to us, or at least none. In any scenario, we want 2 out of 3 answers to be either not harmful or positive, right? So we're always going to be in a situation where we're correct, we're winning, super positive. We're incorrect, we're losing, negative, or we're incorrect, we're not losing, positive. And that's the situation that I want to be in kind of always. And then I'm going to talk to you a little bit later. Just we'll see how, if we get trades set up, as to why I sort of want to. This goes back to the idea now of me not really getting too crazy with. That's why I went to sort of a 40% take profit kind of a situation, and also if not a big amount. I mean, on CFDs, I still have to trade, I think, with a 20 stop, simply because the spreads and everything else are just it's too tight to trade with a 10 stop, right? But on futures, I'm actually able to get away with like a 10 or a 12 stop on a 40 ratio, and that's fine, because the whole point is on the rare times you're going to get stopped out, right? Again, it's a 2 out of 3 situation. I was stopped because I was absolutely wrong on the trade. That's fine. I wasn't stopped, so therefore I made money. Or the trade went very, very deep against me and then came back. And the problem with that third scenario is, if you absorb that third scenario of it going very, very deep against you, the additional risk you assume on that one particular trade is just very, very expensive to recapture. it's all about recapturing losses. That's actually the good way of looking at everything is it's not about making profits, it's about recapturing losses, right? Because the whole point is we're supposed to make profits almost all the time. So how do you recapture losses efficiently? I think if you put a huge loss on it, it becomes very, very inefficient to recapture the loss. So it's always a balancing act. There's no perfect formula, but this is sort of like the final component. But having said this, by the way, I was going to say is if you're sort of just getting used to the setup, or you're just trading the setup to just learn the mechanics of it, don't worry about losses. It's much more important to just learn the winner. So like trade and on CFDs you can trade literally for pennies, and you can just take 20 stopped, 5 target, kind of a 25% of profit, just to work on your timing, because it's really important to get the timing right, and then after that you can refine the P&L aspect of it. All right, I got nothing going on here, guys. It's sort of a very, very quiet day. Oh, we have the German here. So the German is kind of, I need a second arrow in the German here to give me faith that this
Euro dollar sell continuation arrow.
Okay, euro dollar is this sell breaks this sell. It's a lower sell. It's sort of a strong, and I use that word loosely, but I'm going to put the sell on the euro dollar against the low here. And we'll try to trade that and see if that euro dollar is just, basically what happens, we dropped right in front of the 21 handle and just sort of died over here. So this really is consolidative. It's not, the big move in the euro was this move from the 46s all the way to the down, and now we're just consolidating. So I use the word strong trend very very tongue-in-cheek. This is essentially the same level. It's just marginally lower. But if it takes if it takes out the lows and closes below lows, we'll give it a shot. What's Nasdaq doing? Nothing. Nasdaq is also consolidating, trying to create trend conditions. And again, until I have trend conditions, I'm not going to trade anything, right? And as I said to you, I know it's really it's super tempting to trade reversals, right? I love trading reversals, but it's really important to completely and totally commit to continuation and trend trades, get those working properly, because the whole point is you need to be 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5 on a consistent basis on any instrument you're trading to really run this in the end as a profitable P&L system, and also sort of psychologically P&L system as well. And to do that, your best chances of doing that is to be on a selective trend structure. So here we are, by the way. So here's NAS, and this is a weak trend. So it's a downtrend, but it's a downtrend off of a higher low. You guys see how it's a higher low, right? So in order for me to consider, and first of all, we got to see if the candle actually prints, which it may not. But let's say we get, again, candle has to print. So if the candle prints, what I'm looking for now is a second candle against which I'm going to trade to give me confidence that this is indeed a real trend condition, right? So when it's a weak trend, you need a candle to confirm it's a trend condition. When it's a strong trend, you can take the first candle signal. As you can see, by the way, it's neither right now. It's not even giving us any reference points. We're just chopping around. And I think unfortunately today may be one of those days where well, we'll see. Sometimes it develops a little bit lower. So okay, so this is a buy arrow, right? So if the price it's not even forming. I was going to say if the price was kind of close below the buy arrow, I wouldn't have taken that trade because that's the first signal in a weak trend condition. And I would only, if this was a strong trend condition, I would take it, but in a weak trend condition, I'm not, because I'm not confident that it's going to have lots of continuity. If I get a second one, then yeah, I think the power of control shifted to the shorts, and I want to trade that. I want to trade that level. Right now, basically, just it's all chop. There's very, very little visibility on anything that's material. Let me see what's going on over here. Cable. So what I was saying is, on like here's cable and the trend conditions here. This was a weak trend condition.
Nasdaq reverse dollar sell reversal arrow.
Okay, so NAS reversed. Oh, that's interesting. Wow, look at that. NAS reversed. So we had all these sells. Yeah, okay, so that reversed to the upside. So now, and it's so tempting to say, oh, this is a reversal signal. The trend is gonna change. Remember, a reversal trade basically front runs the change in trend, right? And that's very, very satisfying. Getting a change in trend early is super satisfying, but it's also very risky. And my point is that in the long run, those risks, there's just as much of a failure of a trend change as there is a trend. Like, wait for the trend change to happen. I know it's like right now, all you want to do is buy because it's going up. It's going up. They're going to reverse it. But for every time it's going up, it's also going to just come back and reverse on you. It's just not as high a probability trade as waiting for the trend condition to.
Nasdaq trend up.
Okay, so Nasdaq is up. It's actually a higher low. So yeah, we could, next signal, we can take that signal as a potential upside. So it looks like all the sellers could do was break it down into the 60s. The buyers are coming back. They want to take it to fresh highs, right? Stimulus highs. Let's see if that happens. That's the story as it is this minute. Let's see if that story has any chance of developing. By the way, any of you, if you read my piece this morning about NASDAQ versus Russell, you can see how much stronger the Russell is relative to NAS. I'm not trading it here because I know nobody on the CFD side trades it, so I'm not going to bother you with it. But actually,
Euro trend down.
Oh, Euro triggered our trade, so I'm in the Euro trade right now on the CFD side. I'm just curious to see. What was the upside? Upside break here. This is a marginally low upside. So this would have been, you would have had to wait for another candle. Sometimes you don't get it. By being cautious, you do miss the opportunity. But I'd rather miss the opportunity than get stuffed in a trade I don't want. Here's my Euro. We'll take the Euro. I'm going to take the Euro at 2. Just because I got nothing else going on here, I'll bank them where I can. But again, this was a good idea. This is a good example of I was just very, very patient. I let the algo trigger me into the trade. I know the reason I don't have any confidence in the Euros because we're basically at consolidation lows, right? It could actually break lower, but I'd have to have kind of some technical confirmation that the sellers are going to take out. Like if this breaks out to fresh lows and it sends us another sell signal to me, I'd rather do that than kind of sell right into support. So I'll take the profit where I can. What's the NAS doing? NAS is strong trend, no signal. Dow is weak. No, is a strong trend. Dow is kind of strong trend, no signal. German is weak trend, waiting for second signal. So this is, by the way, a good example. Yes, in our oh no, I take it back. I'm sorry. This is a second signal in German. So we should actually, much as I hate the German, we should actually position ourselves on the highs here and see if this indeed is going to work. I mean, the German is just basically following all the other equities to the upside, but you can see Europe is really lagging. Rates in Europe are really lagging. Canada is got nothing going on here, and NAS is just consolidating. Yeah, euro's doing nothing. So this is why I took my couple of pips. Anybody trade the euro down with me? Because that was actually like a legitimate BK trade, although it had no movement. German pierced but didn't hold, so no position on German. I really honestly, guys, I hate the German. I'm gonna cancel out. Although it did print a second buy arrow, so I'm probably gonna live to regret this, but I'm gonna put myself above the buy arrow, because if it does clear it here, it's really pretty strong buy signal for us. We should be able to participate. That would show a lot of momentum strength. Now it's sort of slowed down. Seems like a hurry up and wait market today. Very little direction. Look at the opening range. It's like a 30-point range in the Nasdaq. There's virtually nothing going on.
Pound dollar sell reversal arrow.
Okay. So again, very tempting. It's a reversal signal. You really want to sell this. You know it's going down, but it's not trend. So I'm not going to do it. We're gonna trade less, but we're gonna hopefully trade more intelligently. German's completely reversing, which was again a no harm, no foul trade. How's Nasdaq down? Nothing. They're doing nothing. Where are we? Okay. First half hour. Okay, look, next 15 minutes, let's see what happens. So, okay, if we want to cheat, if we really want to cheat, so this is a positive trend breakout here, right? And this arrow, if this arrow closes, I'm actually watching this. If it closes above this arrow here, we could cheat that as a reference point. Let's just, so you know what I'm going to do? Again, only because we got nothing else going on here. I want to put myself above this. If we close through this, I'm going to make this assumption that where the trend extends higher. The buyers want to take it to fresh highs through the 20s, but only if it if it moves through these levels. If it doesn't, I got nothing. I'm not chasing. And that's, by the way, like a really good best practices idea. Oh, the German went up. Wow, I'm surprised. How did the German reverse so much? Oh, the German reversed. Look at that. All right, we'll let the German play itself out. Is it moving? Jesus, so quiet. Oh, it's just skipping. You know what? Okay, I'm going to close German at 4. I was going to close it at 5 anyways. So, okay. So this is a good example of my own prejudice, me overriding my own prejudice, right? I hated the German. It looked like it was in a sell condition. I was like,
Pound trend down.
It's only going to be a trade if it completely overrides all the levels. And it did. And that's the whole point. We overrode all the levels, and now we're starting to push higher on there. Where's pound? Pound down. This is not a signal for us. Not a signal for us, so we'll just ignore it. But you see, like, there's a reason why we like this setup, because if it's doing this, it doesn't matter what you think. it's telling you the market wants to take it higher, surprising as it was. So this was a nice clean 5 on the German. It would have actually been, I think, maybe even an 8 on the German. But I hate the spreads. I hate the slow quotations. You know, I don't like trading this thing. But I had to trade it because it was legitimate setup on that side. Anybody think?
Pound trend up.
Okay, so this is interesting. So pound actually shows strong trend up, right? Because the cross here is at a much higher level in here. It's a strong trend up. There's two ways you want to trade. You can trade this. You can kind of cheat. Wow, I'm looking at the Russell. Holy shit. Do you see my piece on the Russell today was like, ugh, I'm so pissed that I should have just followed my own advice. Russell really outperforming. So you can kind of cheat and say, okay, it's a strong trend up. It's beating this, you know, as long as it kind of ends up above this reference point, it beats it. So it actually doesn't look like it's doing that. Or I could be much more judicious, which I think is worth it. It's always, if the trend is there, it's going to stay there for a while. If the trend is not there,
pound trend down.
There's no point in, in getting whipsawed here. And that's one of the big dangers. I do this all the time. I get whipsawed on my early anticipation of trend conditions, and there's no reason, like it's much better to buy over here than it is to buy over here, even though this looks so much better. But if you buy over here, you have a much higher degree of confidence that there's actually a trend condition in place, right? And that's a lesson I'm learning every day. That if you're going to trade this, you got plenty of time if you're right, and you will have zero time if you're wrong, because you're always going to, there will be no way for you to escape it if you're wrong. That's the thing, There's no way to repair a shitty trade because you're just going to be wrong. You're going to be on the wrong side of it. It's not going to bounce back your way. Good job, everybody. Yevon, Paul, everybody took a few pips on
pound
that.
dollar sell continuation arrow.
All right, so pound. All right, now pound kind of setting up for the downside. Now we can sort of sell ourselves to the downside. Where's my thing? It's 40. This is, by the way, going to be so much cooler in just a few, hopefully by next week. We're gonna have basically the whole idea is, fuck. See, this is why I hate doing this. But all right, it's fine. It's in trend. And I'm going to have to move this up. What's going to be very, very cool is in the next version of these applets, both the risk and the percent risk and non-percent risk applets, you're going to hit the sell button, and it's going to automatically populate the right digit place and automatically place the button. So like the whole trade will be set up, like right now I have to hit sell, adjust price, set up trade, right? All the bullshit. All those 3 steps are going to be taken away. It's going to be so awesome because it's going to be able to read the arrow indicator and basically run off of that. It's going to be very, very cool. That's my final advance in the trading applet, in the BK trading applet, which actually is what I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it the BK trading applet, or the day trading applet, whatever you want to call it. Where's NAS? NAS is not doing anything. Wow, look at this. Look at the incredible divergence in price action between NAS and Russell. Just unbelievable. All right, let's move this off. I got nothing going on here. What happened here? Oh, pound went positive bid. And this is the reason why I really don't like it. Don't like to position myself. So fortunately, I didn't get hit. I didn't get into a trade because the pound completely reversed. But the pound is, I'm going to cancel this out. Let's wait till we get some kind of decent trend conditions on here. Same with Dow is not showing anything. Nasdaq not showing. We're just not getting any trend conditions in any any trade. Euro is the only one that's showing marginal trend condition to the downside. And the next reference point in the euro, like assuming we can get down a little bit lower, it's going to be a pretty good one because you'll have a lot of confidence that yeah, maybe this is the way it's going to go. Oh, did I screw this up? I shouldn't have even been. I'm sorry, guys. I'm glad I'm glad that order didn't get triggered because it was a completely wrong. I was looking at the wrong thing. Cable is strong bid to the upside, weak bid to the downside, meaning that it has a higher low, but a higher breakout high, and a lower higher low, higher high. That's a strong bid to the upside. It's a higher high, so it's a strong bid to the upside, weak bid to the downside. I shouldn't even looked at this signal, because I needed a couple of signals to confirm to me that it was going to be a weak bid. Now it's a strong bid to the upside. Now you kind of just want to, if I get an arrow within this bid, I definitely want to take it as a reference point.
Dow trend down.
What's down? Something trend down. Oh, Dow trend down. Dow. I think I'm gonna have to have the robot call it Dow Jones because Dow is too short for the computer to pronounce. So this is a weak trend down, right? And when we finalize the settings, it's gonna actually say weak trend down, Dow weak trend down, right? It's gonna tell you the condition, because this will allow you then to judge what do I want to take the first sell signal or not, and you don't want to take the first sell signal on this. Oh, you know what? I don't think I have Canada. Oh, I don't have Canada. I wonder if I don't have it set it up. Yeah, yeah. I have to set up the audibles for Canada. I don't think I set them up. Yeah, I did not set them up. Okay, I have to create audibles for Canada. I will do that for next week because we're still trading a little bit of Canada. Because if I had audibles for Canada, I would have had the audible here to sell this to the downside. And this trade is it's a close 77. It's flat, but this is a pretty decent sell condition. Well, yeah, we have it's a weak sell. So it's a weak sell trend, but it's a third signal, so it's already not even this signal would have been a good one.
Nasdaq reverse buy.
Reverse buy. Oh, hang on a sec. So here's the thing. So this is futures, right? This is a weak sell condition because it's off of a higher cross. So I can't take this, much as I'm kind of tempted, oh, this is going to break the lows. I want to take this sell condition. I don't want to, it's not as high a trade for me as if this was a lower low sell. So I'm not going to take this, but if I get a second candle and the second candle gets broken to the downside, yes, then the trend condition gets confirmed. Basically, the whole idea is you're looking for a confirmation of the trend condition. You're looking at trend condition. You want to assess whether it's strong or
Dow
weak.
trend up.
You then want to have a reference point and then just trade against that reference point on a continuous basis, right? And you see it's all it's kind of bogus, right? Not really setting itself up. Dow marginal trend up. Dow actually is strong trend up, right? So this is strong trend up, which means that we should be looking for buy reference points, whichever one comes first, if we can get them. Nothing much going on. Just trying to see if there's any Twitter news flow. Wow, today is truly a and you know, I guess it's stimulus speech day. Tomorrow will be the more active day in reaction to all of this. Okay, NAS is going to turn positive trend, strong positive trend because it's a high low, and maybe, you know, maybe finally they're going to start trading this to the upside. So I'll be watching this.
Nasdaq trend up.
They're making so, you know, they spent the last half hour trying to take it down. Are they going to lift the offers and see if they can push it to fresh highs? That's the big question. So cable, clean, strong trend to the upside. Now, reference point, then we may have a setup. Look at Canada. Remember we talked about Canada, how that was a good signal? That Canada signal went for a nice 5 points to the downside. Just you know, I was late. I didn't have this set up on the Audible side, but that was a nice clean trade off of here. You guys have any questions? Let me bring up the chat so you guys can ask me anything. Oh, what's going on with my Slack? Ooh, what happened here? Oops, hold on, guys. Okay. I think I stressed out my system. Oh, okay. Oh, yes. And that's, by the way, that's one of the unfortunate failures of the design of the current permutation. And so this is not a trade. I'm just telling you, I'm just showing this to one. But even though I think it's actually a pretty good trade here, if I want to go market, I simply hit this this panel. I hit the bid panel, right? There's a differentiation between the bid panel and the buy sell. Okay, the buy sell will create the stop entry orders, the candle on close orders.
Euro dollar buy reversal arrow.
The bid ask panels will literally take you into the market instantaneously, right? So that's why. So occasionally, instead of hitting this, you hit that, and you're going straight into the market. So that's gonna be in the next version. We're gonna be able to kind of get rid of that. We'll probably have like a little button that says disable market, and and you won't be, when you click on this, it will only do it if you enable this functionality. But what's going to happen is when you hit the buy button in the future, right? So now you understand, right? So what you're doing is you're hitting the bid ask panel, not the buy sell. Now, if I want to hit the buy sell panel, again, guys, this is all for demonstration purposes, so we're not counting this. I'm just showing this to you. You see how it pops up an arrow, and you can move the arrow wherever you want it to be, and that at that level is where it's going to be a buy entry into your position, assuming the candle closes that way. Does that make sense? So you saw that? That's cool. I'm glad you asked that question, because I know I'm sure a lot of people are thinking the same thing. So yeah, so that's basically where where all of that goes. Okay, what's going on over here on the Dow? Nothing. God, wow, guys, we could not have a more boring day today. Cable, no signals. Canada, hold on. All right. Well, looks like I just did my NASDAQ and my German today as my trades. Oh no, I did a little bit of Euro too. So I did NASDAQ, German, Euro. So it was like a plus 10 day, which is pretty shitty for us, but like, we don't choose the market, right? So the market today was just not giving us anything. And the market may give us quite a lot later on in the day. So I wouldn't completely give up on it. The much more important thing is I really wanted you to internalize the thesis here, which is how to analyze strong trend, weak trend, and how to then employ the reference points within that analysis. How to use them in the highest probability possible. Yeah, exactly, Cam. I mean, there's no, you trade what you're given. So today was kind of a slow day. Any final questions? Everybody's kind of clear on the applet. You now have the percent risk applet. So if you guys want to if you prefer that, feel free to use that. And as I said, the final version is going to be really cool, because it's going to be a single click populate entry, and it's going to make life a lot easier. We're going to have a good time with it. In the meantime, we're twiddling our thumbs. But the reason why I like this new analysis is precisely because it doesn't make you do stupid things. Like if you notice, everything I'm doing, everything we're moving to is removing the temptation to do impulsive trades, right? No impulse. That should be my motto. I think all right, for fun, let me see if I can find this on Google Images. Let me see if I can rip off somebody's impulse.
Euro trend up.
Euro trend up. This is as good. This is kind of a lame ass image, but I'll share it with everybody. I think I'm gonna create my own. No impulse. That's the motto here. But that's really what I'm driving at. Just what I'm trying to do as little of that as possible. So, all right. So still pretty good day today. Hung in there. You're dicking around. Cable. And unfortunately, this is the price we pay sometimes. Great, clean, strong trends sometimes don't give us the entries, right? They're just we're not going to get the reference points for entries, and that's just the way it is. We can't force it, so sometimes they're just going to run away from us, and if you and the thing is that if you want to, if you really want to kind of play around with it, right? You can modify your idea by saying, okay, I don't have a reference point, but here's the highest candle. I'm going to put myself on the break of that highest candle over here, and you would have a decent chance at trading trend, because it's a strong trend. Remember, why would I do this? It's a strong trend. It's clearly defined. It gives it's trading within the methodology and the process that we're trying to look for. It's just for those of you who are a little more advanced. I'm just giving you this little tip. But otherwise, we've got nothing. We're just putzing around. So that's it, my friends. I will see everybody
Euro dollar sell reversal arrow.
Exactly. And today, at least you made a few pips, and we'll reconvene tomorrow. Tomorrow is regular webinar. Might be an interesting day because there'll be post stimulus. There'll be a lot of flow. We'll see if we get some stock market flow and equity flow tomorrow, on Friday. So I wish you guys the best. Enjoy the new tool, and I'll see everybody tomorrow. Everybody have a great day.